Murphy's Law is once again in full effect.
The Indiana Fever did report.
So we have some terrible news about
Sophie Cunningham
Will be out for the remainder
of this WNBA basketball season.
I did tear my MCL. I am going to be done for the rest of the season.
Sophie Cunningham
is officially done for the season
with a knee injury.
This is what happens when you let dirty players play dirty.
That's not ideal.
Fever star Sophie Cunningham is officially out for the season. And now, Caitlin Clark's team is in crisis.
The hits just keep coming for the Indiana Fever. Not unexpected that Sophie Cunningham ruled out for the season, but devastating nonetheless as the injuries just continue to pile up.
If you're standing with Caitlin, drop 100% in the comments right now. Let's start with the devastating news. Sophie Cunningham has torn her right MCL and is officially done for the rest of the 2025 season.
News breaking about Sophie Cunningham being out for the season.
This happened during the Fever's matchup against the Connecticut Sun.
Fever guard Sophie Cunningham will miss the remainder of the season after suffering a knee injury during Sunday's game versus the Connecticut Sun.
And the moment was brutal. Sophie went down clutching her knee after
Bria Hartley has claimed her latest victim. Sophie Cunningham, unfortunately, is out for the rest of the 2025 WNBA season thanks to the little stunt Bria Hartley pulled. Sophie Cunningham has a tear in her MCL on her right knee
after contact in the paint. The team later confirmed the worst fears: season-ending surgery.
Most recently, Sophie Cunningham has been hurt with the knee tear and is out for the season.
Now Sophie Cunningham's out for the rest of the season. Good job, Kathy Engelbert, for not checking your players, for not making sure your officials get grips on these games, for letting all types of malice behavior to take place on the court.
We were just scared that it was an ACL tear. I thought she might have tore a patella tendon with the way she was holding her knee. The best case scenario happened. The Indiana Fever just say knee injury, won't say anything more. And Alexa Philippou can confirm Sophie Cunningham suffered an MCL tear. A silver lining being that she should be fully recovered by the start of next season.
For Indiana, this is another crushing blow.
You guys have been so fucking banged up this year, though. It's absolutely crazy. Are you going to have surgery, or is it just PT?
No, I'll have surgery Friday.
Okay.
But again, out of all things, it could have been way worse. So I'm taking this as a dub. I am going to be done for the rest of the season.
In what's become a nightmare stretch.
It's an interesting thing when it comes to the Indiana Fever. Like, they are in the worst scenario.
Just days earlier, Ari McDonald and Sydney Colson were both ruled out for the year.
Now they have Sophie out, Sid Colson out, Ari McDonald out.
Now, Sophie, a veteran presence and emotional spark plug, is gone as well.
She could be back. I reckon she'll be back to some basketball activities by Christmas at the latest. That would be my guess. And that's being conservative a lot of the times. Like, there are times where you can come back after, like, if it's a grade 1 sprain, you're back in a few weeks. Not the end of the world. If it's grade 2, we don't know if it's going to be grade 2 or grade 3. It does say an MCL tear.
That's 3 major losses in less than 2 weeks, leaving the Fever's roster paper thin.
In a matter of 10 days, we lost Ari McDonald, Sydney Colson, and Sophie Cunningham for the rest of the year.
At a time when they need depth the most. The front office quickly made moves, releasing Kira Lambert and signing veteran guard Shea Petty.
The Indiana Fever signed experienced guard Shea Petty to a hardship contract following the release of Kira Lambert. Shea who? Shea Petty. Shea who? Shea Petty. The move comes after they announced Fever guard Sophie Cunningham suffered a season-ending injury. Cunningham is the 3rd player to have a season-ending injury on the Fever roster.
To a hardship contract.
Sophie Cunningham will miss the remainder of the season after suffering an injury during our game at Connecticut on Sunday. In a corresponding move, we have signed guard Shea Petty to a 7-day hardship contract and released Kira Lambert.
But let's be real. no quick fix can replace what Sophie brought. She was the grinder, the enforcer, the player who stretched the floor and set the tone physically. Her toughness and energy were contagious.
I can see them letting Sophie Cunningham walk for somebody that maybe caused them less of a headache. Because let's be real, Sophie Cunningham is probably causing the Fever front office a lot of headaches with the crap that she's doing on social media.
And she was one of the few veterans who gave Caitlin Clark room to shine without carrying the entire emotional load. And here's the bigger issue. The Fever already had the hardest remaining schedule in the league. Every game left is a playoff-level battle. And without Sophie, the margin for error is gone. Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston will have to shoulder almost everything, and Indiana now stares down the storm with one of their most important leaders sidelined. This isn't just an injury. It's the kind of season-changing loss
If this was an ACL tear, we'd be talking about whether or not Sophie Cunningham can come back for next season.
that can tip the balance between fighting for the postseason and completely unraveling. What makes Sophie Cunningham's injury even harder to swallow is how it happened. The play came against the Connecticut Sun when Bria Hartley collided with Sophie in the lane. Sophie's knee buckled, she went down immediately, and the Fever's season changed in an instant. But here's the shocking part. No foul was called.
In this heated midst of a discussion throughout the season that like WNBA refs like need to be better, the things have gotten chippy, people kind of bully the Fever. I did watch the play. Twitter says a lot of people saying it was dirty. She was like smiling after, whatever. You can say what you want about this. It didn't look dirty to me, just like a bang bang play under the rim.
Yeah.
You
I've
have
been
no hard
waiting.
feelings.
No, I don't, because I know Bria and I'm actually really good friends with Bria, and I have been waiting to get on the pod and so we could talk about this because I did want to tweet it out, but I don't think that there was no ill intent. I think it was basketball play. I was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. She fell. Like, there's no way that she would go in there and potentially try to hurt me. And
This is what happens when you let dirty players play dirty. This is what happens when you fail to correct malicious behavior on the court, and a few weeks later, that player is over here taking out somebody's knee.
Fans and analysts were outraged. Many pointed out that this wasn't an isolated moment. Bria Hartley has built a reputation this season.
Bria Hartley deserves zero benefit of the doubt. Her reputation precedes her.
For reckless, overly physical plays.
This whole incident with Bria Hartley was not intentional. Now, I argued for Sophie to the world, to the masses on Jason Whitlock yesterday, and I let it be known this was very much intentional. It was a targeted attack on Sophie Cunningham.
Yanking ponytails, throwing elbows.
This occurred from a player who's been playing dirty all season long, who intentionally fouls because she can't play defense, who yanks ponytails because she can't jump and box out, who throws Rebecca Allen to the ground,
and committing hard fouls when beaten. In fact, several voices called her one of the dirtiest players in the league.
Bria Hartley is somewhere in a dark room patting herself on the back. Bria Hartley is somewhere in a dark room chuckling to herself after what she did. The malicious intent, good job, Bria.
And said the league should have stepped in.
But Kathy Engelbert needs to do something about the officiating in this game. Kathy Engelbert needs to do something about the players that play dirty in this league.
Long before Sophie became the latest victim. And this is the bigger issue: officiating in the WNBA. Time and again this year, games have turned into what fans are calling rugby matches, where stars like Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham take cheap shots.
When it first happened, this is an unfortunate situation. Sophie Cunningham was targeted, and this was completely unnecessary. The Connecticut Sun, to me, organization need to be fined. Somebody need to be suspended. Something needs to happen. And yet again, we have another week, another Indiana Fever player goes down, and guess what? The referees didn't upgrade it to a flagrant nothing. Kathy has yet to speak about any damn thing. And now we sitting here picking up the pieces, and fans is already saying in the comment section, you know what, Caitlin, don't even come back.
With little to no protection. Whether it's blindside screens, intentional hacks, or straight-up body checks, refs have allowed a level of physicality that puts players at serious risk.
Cunningham's sister had to say. She stated, at WNBA, maybe you should focus less on finding players for commenting on your poor officiating and more about hiring officials that are able to call a consistent game and protect your athletes. Pathetic. Praying for you, Sophie.
Let's be clear. This league is built on stars like Caitlin Clark. Fans are filling arenas and tuning in on national TV to watch her shoot, pass, and electrify crowds. But how can she thrive if every game becomes a war of survival? When Sophie goes down, it's not just about losing a shooter. It's a warning that Caitlin herself could be next if the league doesn't enforce its own rules. Caitlin has already taken elbows, hard fouls, and constant cheap shots from defenders who admit they're testing her. Combine that with what happened to Sophie, and fans are rightfully furious. They're demanding the league do more than talk about growth. They want action, better refereeing, and real protection for the stars who carry this game forward. Because here's the truth. If the WNBA doesn't protect Caitlin Clark and players like her, then not only are careers at risk,
The Indiana Fever have an obligation to protect players like Sophie and Caitlin Clark from thug players and poor officiating.
the entire product fans are buying into could collapse under its own negligence.
What the hell is going on? Sophie Cunningham's situation is all that matters.
Just to see her go down, it's just emotional.
The Indiana Fever lost Sophie Cunningham.
Sophie Cunningham went down. It did not look good. I heard her saying no from the court. It was heartbreaking.
Bria Hartley right here. This is Hartley right here coming in.
Slide over right there. And Hartley just kind of falls
And
and
she
makes collision
crushes
with that lower leg.
in
You see her immediately
on
grab
the
it.
knee of Sophie right here.
She went down hard. It was,
And that was it.
that's like she tried to
Sophie
slide
was
over
upset.
right there. And Hartley just kind of falls and
And
makes collision
right
with
there,
that lower
once
leg.
again,
You see her
into the knee. They had to.
She just dove at her knee.
The WNBA is so trash, man. I can't even front.
With Sophie Cunningham gone for the season, the Indiana Fever's entire outlook shifts. The question now is simple. How do they move forward? And who will step up?
Sophie Cunningham is out for the season. What kind of adjustments should the Indiana Fever make?
The honest answer is that all eyes turn back to Caitlin Clark.
She talked about Caitlin Clark briefly and her recovery, and she basically just said, like, it is a day-to-day thing. Caitlin doesn't even know when she will be back.
Clark has already carried an incredible load in her rookie year. From the relentless media spotlight to physical play every single night, she's been tested in ways no rookie in league history has ever experienced. And now, with Sophie's injury, the pressure ramps up again.
And we think Caitlin Clark's going to start practicing this week. And as great as it'll be to have Caitlin come back, this puts a cloud over it.
Caitlin has to not only perform, but also lead a team that's been devastated by setbacks.
If Sophie Cunningham can't come back for the rest of the season, do we even bother playing with fire and bring Caitlin Clark back?
So, what does that look like on the court? First, it means more playmaking through Caitlin. With Sophie's floor spacing and toughness gone, the Fever need to rely heavily on Clark's vision to open up opportunities for Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston. We've already seen flashes of what this trio can do when clicking. Mitchell dropping 30-plus while Clark orchestrates, and Boston dominating inside. That balance will be the key to surviving the toughest remaining schedule in the league. Second, the Fever need role players to play above their weight. Odyssey Sims has to provide stability at the point guard spot. Brianna Turner needs to outwork bigger forwards defensively.
I'm sure Lexi will slide back into the starting lineup, and we'll likely have Odyssey Sims, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hall, Natasha Howard, and Aaliyah Boston.
And the front office must nail the next hardship signing. Ideally, a wing who can shoot threes and defend. But no matter who steps up, it's Caitlin who will be the anchor. Her presence changes defensive schemes, creates mismatches, and keeps Indiana competitive even against the league's elite. But let's be clear, this isn't just about X's and O's. This is about leadership. Caitlin has already shown maturity beyond her years by never backing down, even when facing cheap shots and unfair whistles. Teammates look to her energy. Fans rally around her resilience, and opponents know she will keep coming. Losing Sophie means losing a voice of fire in the locker room.
Sophie Cunningham will miss the remainder of the season after suffering an injury during our game at Connecticut on Sunday. So we have some terrible news about Sophie Cunningham. It appears that she is out, you guys. She is out for the remainder of the season.
We have lost Sophie Cunningham for the remainder of this WNBA basketball season.
So Sophie Cunningham is officially done for the season. That's not ideal.
More information is coming out about Sophie Cunningham actual injury. The news broke about Sophie Cunningham being out for the season. Sophie Cunningham has broken her silence about her injury.
This is what happens when you let dirty players play dirty.
I did tear my MCL. I am going to be done for the rest of the season.
And Caitlin now has to take on even more of that emotional role. And let's not forget the bigger picture, the WNBA itself. Every time Caitlin Clark steps on the court, arenas sell out, TV ratings spike, and kids line up to watch. Protecting her isn't just about keeping the Fever's playoff hopes alive, it's about safeguarding the very growth of the league. The Fever's crisis is real, but so is Caitlin's opportunity to prove once again why she is the face of the WNBA. Yes, this season has been brutal. Yes, losing Sophie Cunningham hurts deeply. But with Caitlin Clark still fighting, fans know Indiana isn't finished. If she can rally this team through the storm, not only will it define her rookie year, it will solidify her as the leader the WNBA desperately needs.
Murphy's Law is once again in full effect for the Indiana Fever as Sophie Cunningham is ruled out for the rest of the season.
The Indiana Fever did report tonight that Sophie Cunningham will be out for the remainder of the season with a knee injury.
The hits just keep coming for the Indiana Fever. Not unexpected that Sophie Cunningham ruled out for the season, but devastating nonetheless as the injuries just continue to pile up.
The Indiana Fever may have lost Sophie Cunningham for the season, but this story isn't over. With Caitlin Clark leading the way, this team still has a fighting chance. And fans everywhere know she deserves the protection and respect that comes with being the face of the league. What do you think? Can Caitlin rally the Fever through this crisis? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to drop a 100% for Caitlin to show your support. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe to WNBA Spark and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on Caitlin Clark and the Fever. Until next time, this is WNBA Spark, bringing you the latest, fastest news in the WNBA.